So first of all, disclaimer, as an investor, I have not invested in an outward-facing AI to this date.
What does that mean?
And I'll explain that,
Yeah.
Inward and outward. So inward, what that means is, for example, like I've invested in a company that is in this space. You have a medical device that the medical device eventually shows you a reading or shows you some number or some calculation based on where that medical device is being used, right, on a human. So that solution, that product, is actually injecting a lot of data that it's measuring and then is giving you a result, right? So that, to me, is a safe, effective use of AI. Why? Because that device and all that data that has to be approved by FDA.
Yes.
Right? So they're looking at comparative studies and saying, okay, you're saying you're going to lower, I'm just picking it out of the sky, blood pressure, right?
Okay.
And so they're saying, well, you need to be able to show that your wearable solution, whatever, has the same accuracy as what this, the mom and pop solution of today, which is like, the more manual solution. It's technology, but like you're sort of comparing it to a predicate, let's just say.
Sure.
So that's sort of inward. There's a lot of things that are sort of like, the customer doesn't see or doesn't have to ingest data into, but you're sort of, it's AI, it's almost like, remember we say Intel inside? It's like AI inside, and I don't need to sort of deal with it from the outside perspective, right?
Okay.
So outward would be, yes, exactly what you think, what we're seeing on the data solutions. I have to train my model. I have to inject it tons of data, and then I'm using it to make a decision, right? Or it is summarizing clinical notes for me, or it's summarizing, data for me, or administrative things for me, or whatever it is, or voice dictation, or whatever it is.
Sure.
So that's sort of the comparison, right? And so a lot of us, from a outward perspective, are a little skeptical, right? Because you've heard this terminology, maybe garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely.
Right? So you really have to validate the models. And so in healthcare, unfortunately, you can't sit there and just say, oh, well, I've trained my model on all this static data. Healthcare is constantly moving, right? Data is constantly being generated and it's being refreshed. So that's my big question that always becomes, okay, you're training it on like billions or millions of data points. How does that assure the predictiveness of it moving forward, right? So I think another thing is those AI models have to be constantly training themselves and updating themselves. The other thing that I would say that we still need, and I know we don't all love this, but we need some standards.